Hi, good day. Hope you're doing fantastic. I'm doing my episode 6 today from the US. My visits had come to an end. I returned to Ghana, where I'll continue with the future episodes. A young lady asked me yesterday, so how do you go from the ideal stage to execution stage? I thought that was a good question, interesting question. So I want to spend a few minutes to answer that. I've already answered this in so many ways from the previous episodes. But to answer your question, I just gave an analogy, and I'm going to do that. You see, from idea stage to execution stage is similar to a lady or a woman conceiving to have a yet to be born baby. Once you conceive, that's your idea stage, you conceive the idea. And then once you conceive the idea, or when a lady gets pregnant, she has to go through a gestation period of 9 months before the baby can be born. Similarly, when you conceive the idea, there's a gestation period. And this is the time that you have to do a lot of work, a lot of homework, a lot of preparation. You have to do things like information gathering on the idea, the product or the service. You have to do some information gathering on the market, on the industry, on competition, on the target audience, on the source of financing, etc. Mentoring is also a good part of the preparation stage. Once you do all this, this becomes your idea business plan, which once it's done, then you're ready to execute. So the same way that after 9 months, the lady has to deliver the baby. So those are the two similar analogies that I can make, that you conceive, you go through gestation period, and then you deliver or you execute. So that was my answer to the young lady. Anyway, I'm still on the early part of entrepreneur days. And today, I'm going to talk about 3 principles that we use and continue to use as of today to guide us in a long business journey. First thing that we did is that when you start out, they say you have to start from the end in mind. So to start with the end in mind, you have to have a starting point. A starting point is important. That starting point is what I call, you have to do your net worth analysis. Very important. You have to find out where you are at the moment that you start executing. And the net worth analysis, net worth, in simple words, is basically look at all the assets you have, minus your liabilities, and differences your net worth. This is important because starting out, you need to know where you are. So with time, you can guess, are you making progress? Have you added to your net worth? In my particular case, when I started out, of course, I didn't have a home. I didn't have a lot of assets. I remember the only thing I had my automobile, because I was renting, so I was paying rent. That's not an asset. But the smart thing I did to increase my net worth from the beginning is that I bought a $1 million insurance policy, just so in case something happens to me, my family will be well taken care of. So that became an asset then. And then on the liability side, I have your regular operating expenses like your rent, the family expenses, food, all those things, and then the liability for my automobile. So when you look at the difference, it wasn't much, because insurance policy is not a cash. So even though it's an asset, it's only good when you're not around. So by doing the net worth analysis, I have my starting point, and then every 6 months or every year, you do the same exercise, and you find out, are you increasing your net worth? Have you been able to add cash, investment, savings? Have you been able to control your expenses so that you're always on top? Have you done any other investment that can be considered assets? So Those are one of the principles we use. I continue to do now to find out where I am in life. Second thing that we did was we call self-analysis or self-introspection. My partner and I, every 6 months, will sit down and list. When you do this, you have to be brutally candid with yourself. It becomes a man in the mirror philosophy. You list all your strengths. You list all your weaknesses. In business world, they call it the SWOT analysis: strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. But in that particular case, it was basically to look at your strengths and weaknesses. In the strength part, if you have goals that you've written, like your sales goals, like your marketing goals, any goal that pertains to what you do, and your personality traits, do you execute on time? Do you follow your plans? You list all your strengths and you look at honestly at your weaknesses. What do you do wrong? Once you list them, then my partner and I will just pass it to each other and then we critique it. And then we say, well, this is true. Maybe we need to improve it. And it's just similar to like companies do their financial statements on periodic basis. It's good to take a good look at yourself to see where you are, where you're going. Are you making improvements? So that's something that we introduce in early part of our business life. I continue to do this, take a quick, good look at myself, where I am. Am I moving forward or am I going backwards? So that becomes the last. And the last thing, the third thing that I love, that I still do, is affirmations. See, affirmations become so part of you. It's your self-motivator. It has to motivate you to be able to get up and do what you have to do. And I had some favorite affirmations. I'm going to share some of it with you that I as of today, I still say them. Number one, I say this affirmation: my conscience is clear, my thoughts are pure, and my heart is open. This is important to me because if I have all this, that means I'm always on the positive end of things. I eliminate any negative things. I'm content with where I'm going or where I'm trying to go. I'm kind to people. I stay humble. I stay aggressive. I stay courageous, no fear. I stay organized. So this affirmation, I continue to say every morning just to guide me, strengthen me, and make me know where it is I'm going. Another affirmation that I've been saying for a long time is that watch your thoughts. It becomes your words. Watch your words. It becomes your actions. Watch your actions. It becomes your character. And watch your character. It becomes your destiny. In other words, we say that you are the sum total of your thought process. So you have to watch what you put in your mind or what you think about. If you don't do these things, then things can happen that could derail you from where you're trying to go, what you're trying to do. And so by doing this, you're always aware of the kind of personality that you want to cultivate. Everywhere you go, your integrity is intact. People believe in your word. Your word is good. Your honesty is good. And these affirmations just guide you in these directions. Another affirmation that I like is that my purpose in life is to make the other person better because I'm better already. Of course, that's a state of gratitude, that's a state of contentment. That's knowing that you're not lacking in anything. And by sharing, you bless and more comes your way. So that is another good affirmation that I say. Another thing that I like to say is that I'm always in a state of gratitude, or I live in a state of gratitude, meaning giving thanks to God for where I am. If I have some wishes or if I have some place I go, I say to God or the universal spirit or however you want to term it, the master of energy of the world, I say to God and I just say that this is how my wishes and that I know that it will be done because I thank you for what you've done already. And I'm putting this before you because I know you do this. So affirmations are so critical in a business life. People have a different ways of going about it. Some people say it's meditation. They sit down quietly. Quiet time is equally important. And they let things run through their mind as they stay calm, do their breathing exercises. and then focus on what's ahead and all of that. So these are some of the things that I like to share. You can create your own affirmations, and you have to repeat this to yourself whenever it comes to you. It's just a self-reminder that you are on a journey, and the journey requires some strength, some energy, some courage, and all negative thoughts has to be dispelled or dissipate into nothingness, and so that you can stay on the positive, because it's a long journey. There are going to be ups and downs. So what you're going to do when you have a challenge or when you fall down, what you're going to do? It's only affirmations that can help you to move forward. So these are some of the things that I've done, I continue to do, and I think that some of you do that through your prayers. Some of you have a unique way of trying to self-motivate yourself. Keep on the path, and then you all shall be well. Finally, here we are in the early part of business. And man, did it take a lot of energy, a lot of work. We used to drive all over. We must have visited about 35 states in the U.S., the big cities. And we used to go from door to door to the salons. We were conducting hair shows or workshop. Remember I talked about my teaching where we did that. So we were thinking, man, somebody asked you, so how is entrepreneur life? My answer is, how many miles you want to put on your body? If you can put as many miles as you can, then you're really in the entrepreneur life. In the advent of marketing and all of that, you can do all of that. But nothing works till you go see the customer face to face. So we've been doing all of this. And we're here. I'll keep this particular video short because I'm getting ready to travel back to Ghana. But I just wanted to do my last one from Chicago. So the lessons to be learned from this episode is that when you want to start your business, 3 things. Always do your net worth on periodic basis to find out if you're making progress. Number 2, do the self-introspection or self-analysis and be brutally frank with yourself to see your strength, your weakness, if you, and where you fall weak. Do your best to try to motivate yourself and do better. Correct the errors. If you do something good, see how you can do better. And number 3, affirmations. Please, affirmations are plentiful. You know what is important to you. Find affirmation that will continue to confirm these important things in your life, to remind you, to guide you. I thank you for listening. I will continue upon my return to Ghana. Have a peaceful day. Peace.